Radio Free Tatooine presents Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
Boshuda, fellow holotable hustlers. You're tuned into Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, a.k.a. the other Sean, and sitting across the holotable from me is Josh, a.k.a. the Golden Pop-Tart.
So we have, this is first week of the raids for us, and it just was too easy, right? It was so easy for you?
We all just breezed right past it, you know? I mean, I maxed all 5 of my teams.
Right, me too.
As I assume you did.
100%.
And now they're going to nerf it.
Right? I mean... Man.
Oh, CG.
I mean...
Are you going to do it again?
Come on. I mean, I didn't even get a chance to feel that awesomeness. It's like Darth Vader all over again, but...
Well, there are 3 people in our guild who did not get a chance to feel the awesomeness.
They did not. Shame.
So we've got a round of Order 66 under our belts, and we have some wisdom to share. We're going to do that. We're also going to talk about the impending doom that is CG monitoring the situation. And man, it's a wild time to be playing this game right now. But first, we're going to celebrate some Blurf days. We've only got a couple of Blurf days this week. On the 4th, Independence Day. What says independence more than Night Trooper?
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
From 2024. So 1 year of Night Trooping, 1 year of Blight, of reviving 10 times before you can kill it. You know you love it.
And I still don't even know how it gets the protection up so much. I mean, that's the thing that's interesting
when I'm... I don't
when
understand that squad.
Right? Like, when I'm battling it, I'm like, every time I go, I really should learn this more. But I still win, so I don't need to learn more.
Well, yeah, that's the thing about this game is there's so many characters and so many teams that there's no point in learning all the mechanics. You can go to swgoh.gg and you can see... Even without an account, you can see basically what beats what. Or without a paid account. So, like, I know that team does a bunch of weird stuff. But I see that, like, oh, well, this team beats it. So, cool. I'll do that. Yeah, Night Trooper, you're annoying, but we know how to beat you. On the 7th, we have a Blurf Day for Ravensclaw. And this is the one time every year where I remember that Ravensclaw exists.
Yes.
Because I would be hard-pressed to tell you a more useless ship, to be completely frank. It's a rebel.
Right.
It doesn't fit on any rebel it's like just weird. It's not a good plug and play. Like, you know how Ebon Hawk is not really a part of any fleet, but you could put it in there because, you know, the chaff ability can be kind of whatever.
I call it chafe. I mean, chafing, it has to, right?
Chafing your chaff.
Chafing.
That can get you through some galactic challenges or something. Ravensclaw is like really, really out there in terms of why would you ever use that for like anything? I don't know.
Can you name in any of the 2 abilities it has?
Nope. I don't know what it does. I couldn't. I assume there's a basic ability that shoots.
They're very good. You got some force-guided lasers there. Yep.
Beyond that, no idea.
I mean, out of the sun.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
Deals damage to all enemies or remove 50% turn meter. So now you know a little more.
All right. Neat. It's not like an inherently bad ship. It's just a ship that has no home.
Yeah.
You know, there's just no reason to use it. Oh, ships. But I digress. Let's take a look at this week's upcoming in-game events brought to you by swgohevents.com. For a complete list of past, present, and future events, swgohevents.com is a universe of info in a galaxy of heroes. Now, CG fortunately just released their full schedule, so we know all the gory deets. On the 4th, we have an Omega battle on Jakku. On the 5th, we have Peridia Patrol, which, let's face it, we all love us some Peridia Patrol.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Territory War number 384 is when the attack phase starts, is on the 5th. That's how they list it now, is like not by when the sign up is, but when the attack happens. All right. I'll play your game. On the 6th, we have a training droid smuggling, as well as a smuggler's run 2. So Sim, bad rewards, good rewards. Mm-hmm. On the 7th, we have an Omega battle on Bespin. We have a territory battle. It's either light side or, Rise of the Empire. I forgot to put the date in there. I think it's on the 7th as well. So that's going to be starting up. And then we also have Endor Escalation on the 8th. So plenty to keep us busy. I just want more of the, what's it called? The Era battle. For Temple Guard and Depa, whatever.
Get an extra couple shards,
That. I need that. I had such a good run with the clones that I want that high again. It was so pleasant.
That's funny.
All right. Before we dive into this week's top stories, a quick shout out for our fantastic Patreon supporters. If you enjoy what we do and you want to be a part of our exclusive community, head over to patreon.com/Galactic War Report. You'll get VIP access to our Discord, early access to episodes, and of course, our weekly Doth Chat, where we chat with patrons each Wednesday at 8:30-ish Eastern Time. Your support keeps the lights on and the Sandcrawlers running. Now then, punch it, Pop-Tart.
I think the area that we just have to talk about the most tonight has to be the raid, because really, when you look at the news, there hasn't been much other than CJ saying, don't worry, we got you. I know this isn't where you wanted to be. You wanted this to be really tough, so we're going to help you out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So before
we'll make it real tough.
I know, right? So before we kind of talk about some of the changes, let's talk about just our experiences. And I know I put some on here like, wait, what's the strategy going to look like? Well, guess what? It's probably going to change.
Yeah.
But really kind of opening thoughts. When you think about this raid just in general from this week, first try, what are some of your takeaways?
Yeah. So I don't want to sound like CG here, but it was kind of shocking how many solos you get away with. And granted, this is like tier 0 solos. So let me just say, CG, if you're worried about us hitting easy solos on tier 0, don't.
I know,
don't
right?
worry about that. That should be kind of stupid easy,
Yeah.
So I think, early kind of reporting showed that for the majority of players who are mid to late game players, Kelleran Beck is your guy.
Yeah.
You run a Kelleran Beck squad because that's kind of like the mace requirements, basically. So eventually you're going to get mace and you're going to replace Kelleran, and you're going to do it a little differently. I mean, that said, that was like the only team. I was very disappointed. Let me just back up here, because my very first team I tried was Bad Batch.
Of course, makes sense.
And I had Omega, Wrecker, Batcher, and Hunter all at Relic 5. And Crosshair is not 7 stars yet. So I'm like, well, let me just see if a 4-person team, what they can do. They're Relic 5, so I select tier 4, I believe is the Relic 5 tier. And I even streamed it to our Apple TV and told my son, I was like, hey, that new Order 66 raid just hit. You want to see this? And he's like, yeah, cool. So we started up. We see the cinematic. Looks really cool. And it was not like, granted, I didn't like do any remodding. I'm just like, hey, how does this work? And then, you know, if I got a remod later, cool, whatever. But like, I want to experience it first. And it was not fun. It was, you just die in the face, right? And, okay, cool. Let me try tier 3. Oh, you still just can't do anything and you die. Tier 2? Can't do anything, you die. And I start looking online and they're like, yeah, just do tier 0 with it. Granted, I was missing Crosshair.
Yeah,
I know. But when the requirement is Relic 5 and you go in with Relic 5 and you just get absolutely demolished and the advice is try tier 0, like that's insulting.
Yeah.
And I know I didn't remod. I know that. Like I could remod and do better than that. But maybe I couldn't even, because I did not even knock out one clone. Yeah. Like my score was 0 and I died. And like, cool. Can't wait to do this every week for a year. That's going to be great. So that was a little disappointing. I mean, it takes some of the pressure off when you look online and it's just like, yeah, just do tier 0. You can't do anything with this team. What? How stupid is that? I'm sorry, but what?
Yeah.
Like that needs to be talked about. That's terrible. That is terrible design. And I like remodding should make it easier to achieve a goal, should increase your score. It shouldn't be like you remod or you die before you even get to do a single thing. That's no. Get out of here with that crap. That's awful. So that's how it started for me.
Similar to me.
Then I saw I saw all the solos. I'm like, fine, I'll run them on tier 0. And then do Tarkin solo and Nest solo and Hondo solo. And I'm like, this seems dumb. I mean, really? I'm just going to run tier 0 for 4 out of 5 of my teams? That's where we're at? Okay, cool. Cool raid. I love it. So, I mean, that's what I did. And I think for Hondo, I want to say I didn't do solo. I think I slapped some like Sanastaros or someone in with him. But yeah. Then my Kelleran Beck team, you know, it said like tier 4 because they're all Relic 5 or higher. All right, cool. I get beat. Bad. Real bad. Fine. Tier 3. I get beat. Real bad. Tier 2, maybe? I get a little couple points. Fine. Tier 1. My Kelleran Beck team ran tier 1. Look, CG, I'm glad you're monitoring the situation. I'm glad that you're paying attention to what's going on here. I feel like there has to be some kind of, like, if someone doesn't want to remod and retry 100 times, then don't make it so we have to do tier 0. That like, it's all or nothing with this. It's all or nothing. You go absolutely nuts or you get nothing. Now, granted, I didn't have clones in a decent place, and it sounds like clones really knocked this thing out of the park, and that's cool. So that's, this next time is going to be different because I've got some clones and relics now. But yeah, my first impression of it was I don't actually like it.
Yeah.
There's some neat mechanics, but like, it's not fun when you're forced to do tier 0. And I know I didn't wail. I don't have all these teams ready, but okay, in my defense, one of them doesn't even exist yet.
Right.
And 2, another one of them doesn't even exist yet.
Yeah, 2 teams of this.
What is going on? You don't even give us the teams to do it, and you're mad that we're doing it with smaller teams. Well, yeah, release the characters and we'll try it like that.
Or release this after the characters have been out for a second. Because even then, I mean, yeah, it's...
So, this second run through, I've got better clones, so I think I can do something better there. And maybe now we remod. I know. I get it. I know. I'm a lazy player. I am. But I'm so busy podcasting. I'm so busy podcasting. And like modding, let's be honest, it's not fun. No one likes modding. And if they do, run. Because they are a psychopath. All right, enough about me and my old man shaking a fist and yelling at the clouds. Well, how was your first run with this?
It's very similar. I start off with Bad Batch, and I don't have crosshairs either. So, I mean, he's not really at that 7 stars ready to go. So I started, well, maybe I can do the 4 of them. I'm not going to do the Relic 5 tier because I know that was going to happen. And then you just start off and everyone dies, or it gets captured, right? So, I mean,
yeah,
you're like, okay, let me move down 1. And then you move down 1, and you move down 1. You're like, okay, I thought it was gonna be like Gungans. I mean, 4 Gungans still did all right. Like, you didn't have to have Jar Jar to be amazing. So I felt like they were going to be a decent team. I guess that was wrong. So I said, all right, let me come back to it. And to be 100% honest, the day that we launched it, within probably 15 minutes of us launching it, I was playing it, and then I didn't touch it until we had 24 hours left. I came back and said, okay, I have to do this now. And
the first one, and you're already putting it off.
Right? That was a little bit disappointing. And when I realized, though, that this is going to be horrible, and I felt like I was in trouble because I'm looking at it going, all right, there's people in the guild doing all right, and I'm not. So I had that little bit of, okay, don't kick me out type of scenario, just because it's like, and then when I started to see, okay, there's more people having some challenges.
All suck.
I'm glad it's graded on the curve, not on the regular. So I mean, it really felt, I mean, when I did the first tier, of course, I mean, tier 0, I did some damage, but still, even then, I mean, I tried the solos. It was best because of the Tarkin one. I'm watching the video on it. They're saying how great it is. You just do this. I'm like, mine just dies. Even on the first one, like, it just dies, and that was tough. But in the long run, I know it's the first one. This one reminds me so much of the Dragon Raid, because at first I didn't have Jabba. I mean, that wasn't until the end of the year. So Jabba was really the first.
No one had Jawas ready to go.
Right? Like, I mean, that was the first one for me where I really was behind. And that's when I started to catch up a little bit, like actually getting the Galactic Legend of the Year. So, I mean, that was, unique. So I did feel kind of wimpy in that one, but then Mandalorians got better. Like it got better as time went on, but I felt inadequate. I guess that's the best way. Like,
yeah, no, I know the feeling. I know. I had some of that too. I'm like, man, I'm the guild leader. I should be like on the leaderboard. But man, and I think, like you pulled some info. Our top score in the guild was 7.1 million from Banthapudu Utini.
Yeah.
Good job. Awesome.
Yeah.
He also wailed on the clones.
Yep.
So, or to some degree, I don't know his spending habits or whatever, but he had clones ready to rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that definitely changes what you can do.
Glad he's on our team. So it's like, you know, I mean, that's a nice part. But I mean, looking at kind of everybody in the guild, I mean, we had a lot of people in our range. So we're definitely not,
we did,
not going to be that team. And when you start to lose out on that guild currency, it just hurts a little bit. And I know this is going to get better, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as we figure out strategy, as the required characters for this raid slowly release, that's gonna help. And we're growing too.
Yeah.
Right. So like last raid, it's strategy schmategy. I have clones now, so I can do a thing. Versus before, wasn't much going on. Oh, that's what I ran. I ran for tier 0. I didn't do a solo Tarkin. I did Tarkin with all those underdeveloped clones. But, now, nice. Like I said, they're tougher now, so I can try harder tiers. Maybe I'll work up to tier 1. We'll see. I don't know.
Are they like preemie clones?
They're preemie clones. They were not ready. But they got a lot of heart. They got a lot of heart.
So kind of looking at it, we got 50 in the guild. So I was ranked 27th. You did beat me out a little bit. So you got 23rd. Mm-hmm. So my score was a whopping 1.29 million.
Yeehaw.
I mean, imagine like you did that in one attempt on auto last time. Yeah. I mean, I did. Obviously, we all did. Most likely. I mean, if you had Gungans, you're probably doing all right. With Padme, you're doing fine. But man. So with everything that you've kind of learned now with this time around, what are some things you want to do differently next time? You talk about having clones, but is there anything different? I know we talked a little bit about mods, but like with your team makeups or that, or
I think remodding is definitely one thing, and for those goofy little solo teams, the nice thing is, look, like I said, modding stinks, right? Go in to your Jedi Master Luke, create a loadout from him, use that loadout for all those solo teams, and you're fine. Like, it's not like you have to make a ton of different No, it is literally just that one loadout that you're going to use on Nest. And then you're going to move it to Hondo and do it again, and move it to Tarkin, or whatever your situation is. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I think for the next one, I'll probably have Crosshair ready too. So like the teams are coming together, and I'll see. Once I get him up into relics, like we'll look at remodding. I know I don't want to be I don't want to be a downer about it. Like, this raid's stupid and you shouldn't play it. No, of course you have to play it. Of course you have to work on the teams. You have to put in the work, because that's what this game is you have to do certain activities to progress. How do you make it hurt less? All right. A little bit of remod, and like for the last one, the only teams I remodded was I would remod Sidious and Maul for the Separatist team. Everything else was fine. Padme could max score. Gungans could max score. And then Beck and Luminara maybe could max score. But like if you're getting a max score with those two and then you have to remod 2 characters, all right, I'm fine with that. But if this turns into like you're remodding 5 teams,
right? Or I know a lot of people will just start working on the mods. Like that's what I did last time, where I didn't want to have to replace them, so I just went back and okay, then these characters put on my favorites, and I'm going to mod them just for this, and I'm probably not going to worry about it until later on.
Just leave it. Yeah, I know that's the other option.
It's just, I think the best way I kept on thinking about it is like, I mean, you got 10 pieces of candy last time when you did your mod, right? Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden you're getting 3. And I'm sorry, but 7 less pieces of candy is not nice. Like that is like,
no. You're going to want that candy.
I want my candy, right? So you're taking away my candy. That's going to help me get me more candy later on. So, I mean, it's just, I got to get used to having less candy. I mean,
well, it's both.
Sense,
you got to get used to less candy, and you got to work toward more candy.
Oh,
so,
and by the way, even though you're getting less candy, we're going to make it tougher so you get even less candiers. Candiers, is that right?
Candiers, yeah. I think that's exactly right.
So let's dive into the less candies. I don't know why we've gone down a candy route here. Let's move on from the candy.
Yeah. Okay. It'd be good for our teeth. Let's do that. That was not a good joke.
No,
that was not a good joke.
But hey,
I usually bring it a little better than that, and I'm sorry to everyone. So yeah, what they're noticing, they've been watching us.
I know,
this whole time. They've been watching us.
While we tested their game, right?
Right, yeah, right behind your shoulder is CG watching you play their raid. The things they point out, one is undersized teams, like we talked about. So Order 66 raid description and modifiers indicate that undersized teams get penalized for bringing in less than 5 characters in an attempt. The team is evaluating whether the current penalty is reflective of the balance expectation of the raid for the higher modifier tiers. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I think this is not the tier 0 Hondo solo. This is, I think, specifically splitting up clones.
Yep.
Splitting up your dark side clones to get 2 max scores instead of 1, I think is the problem here.
Agreed.
And I'm a little on the fence as to like, should they do something about that, or should they just let us have fun? You know, because like I don't always want to I always want to represent the players, right? And speak for the player base. Do right by the players. Give us something fun, right? But at the same time, if the raid is designed to be, look, you need these 5 teams, and people are like, actually, you can skip all that and just do it with 1 team. That is a bad situation. The raid's not what it's supposed to be. And yes, it makes it easier to get more candy. But I can see their point on wanting to not just have people build a couple teams and suddenly the whole thing's trivialized. So I don't know. I kind of see where they're coming from there.
But on the other side of it, maybe they should have tested to see that was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely they should have.
That's a tough part, is just that don't penalize people, in my opinion, to find out that they outsmarted that system, you know? So, I mean, if you bring out something in the game and you find a way to beat it, it's like the CLS solo, you know, in the Rancor.
Yeah.
When it happened, right? They didn't change it. I mean, they did with the advanced one, of course, but
That also didn't happen when the raid launched.
True.
That was way later. Like when that launched, you had to rely on Tebow. Oh. There was a lot of work had to go into getting through one of those. So, and I think now it's a little different because at the start of a raid, they tell you exactly which characters you can and can't use. But like the example of hypothetically, if a month ago, couple months ago, whatever, a character would have come out that made the Battle for Naboo raid like stupid easy. All right, fine. We got a new one coming anyways. But when it launches and people are just like smoking it, this thing's going to be around for a year. Like, you don't want it to just be, I don't know.
But I mean, if you wailed, if you think about it, if you wailed and got these characters Relic 9, like my clones are probably going to end up being pretty high up just because I want Lord Vader to be as powerful as possible. But
sure,
I mean, this is almost like in my side, like a reward for them to wail. I mean,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if I had every single one of these characters Relic 9, like I should get max score. Like it's same thing if you get the Omicron,
you
right?
You should, but I don't necessarily think you should get 2 max scores.
Yeah.
For leveling up one team. And that's the thing is, I think there's always going to be, there's no cut and dry answers for this because everyone plays the game differently and everyone spends differently and everyone, whatever. But anyone who took all their clones up to Relic 9 in anticipation of this raid was expecting to get 1 max score. They didn't do it because they were like, oh, you can get 2. Let's take them to 9. Now, are there a couple outliers out there who saw that that's possible and spent a lot to get them there? Maybe, but that's definitely not the majority. The majority is a new raid's coming out, clones are in it. Let's go hard, and they do that, and then the raid comes out and they have this happy accident that they can get 2 max scores. So I don't know. That's how I see that. So I get that. Beyond that, what are the other issues here? Disguised Clone Trooper is not working. Sneaky Boy is not being sneaky.
Yeah.
So his clever ruse is not granting 20% turn meter at the right time. That impacts the player version and the enemy version. So they're still looking at that. Okay, cool. Damage over time stacks from Sneaky Boy are triggering whenever the unit performs an ability instead of start of turn. Again, both versions, yours and theirs, right? So that they're going to fix. And then the pirate modifier. This, I don't have any issue with this. This is... I should say I don't have any issue with this announcement. I still think it's dumb to release a raid and not have the characters even created yet. So that's a little silly. But a reminder that the pirates and their modifier are still undergoing testing. We started the modifier in a decent place with room to grow. The team is likely going to buff the current pirate modifier to be more beneficial for all new pirates. Yar. That's fine. Kelleran Beck. Now, this is a threat.
Yeah.
This came off as like a mob threat to me. We've observed Kelleran Beck performing exceptionally well under certain circumstances. And while we're monitoring their progress, our current status is to not intervene, but to keep monitoring it. We'll keep eyes on if we feel these start to get out of hand. What are you doing?
Right?
What are you... Get your hands off my Kelleran Beck. It's the one team that I have any hope of doing anything with. Don't mess with Beck.
I think that's the tough part is again, like, You know, if you had a Padme team, you know you're going to be decent in the last raid, even from day one. If you had it all going, you knew that was going to be good. I mean, having the Poncho Pals of Relic 9 for their event, you know, I mean, you knew you're going to have one team. If Kelleran and Beck right now can't even do what they did in the first round, leave the man alone.
Leave him alone. Plus, keep in mind, like, I don't know, they don't really clarify at what level they're looking at this. Like, is this for players who have Mace and therefore Beck is like the second Jedi team? Or is this also kind of including players who are using Beck because they don't have Mace yet? And once they get him, the difference there, the reason that's important is once you get Mace, your Beck team gets blown up because a lot of those characters are going on the Mace team. So now your Beck team is not a problem because it's got Joe Schmo Jedi on it. Like
Counselor.
We're talking about Eth Koth popping up and like, hey, what's up? So I don't like what they're saying about Kelleran and Beck. That's not hitting me right. In addition, they have Captain Athano. After internal balance testing, his leader is getting a buff to boost the Marquee Pirates squad's power in PvP and scoring potential in the raid for players chasing Galactic Legend Hondo. This is currently planned for release alongside the third Pirate Marquee. Okay, that's fine. Buff my pirates. Order 66 raid Foxbug. So one stack of Execute is not being removed from Vader when the targeted enemy has at least one buff. So that's going to get fixed. And then here's the other part that seems a foul. Reminder that there is an issue where the final tier Bad Batch modifier is applying to all tiers. This will be fixed and will only be applied to tier 7. Now, what is that modifier, you say? I don't know.
It's not working for me, whatever that is.
Is it a good modifier or a bad modifier? That's my big question. I'm pulling up details here. Bad Batch. Stealth characters deal 5% more damage. Non-stealth characters take 5% less damage when targeted. Does this... I don't think it has the phase by phase thing. Bummer. Well, if it does, I can't find it right now. So that's a stinker. But if that's it reads like they're saying Bad Batch has it way too easy right now. And I don't think adding Crosshair is going to change my mind on the fact that the Bad Batch do not have it way too easy right now. I don't know. Yeah.
Again, I think when we look at all this and what is all wrong, that's the tough part too, is like there's just so much that's not working the way they want to, or there are adjustments. We need to get this, get a few more miles on this vehicle, get a few more characters. And it does feel like it's coming. It's going to take a little bit to get out of this hole a little bit. You know, one, because the fact that it's pirates. I mean, sorry, I bet there's people that are happy about the fact that we're getting pirates in the game. You know, I'll warm up to them 100%, but the Galactic Legend isn't probably months away at this point. I mean, usually they come later in the year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you think about that, like that's going to be a while before it's going to be even kind of that piece. And then if your best teams, if right now I'm getting 1.29 and I'm still all of the, you know, we don't even have all of the dirty clones able to even be farmed at this point. So, I mean, the realistic for free to play players, you're going to be really low on this for a while. Like, and I know it's a year-long thing, but still, how many months of less cookies, less, guild currency stuff. So I'm looking forward to when we finally get to chance to play this the way that should and catch up a little bit. But I got to ask, is this a dislike? Is this a like? Is this a maybe? Where are you falling right now?
On the raid or on the announcement?
I think the announcement makes it worse, but yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm sorry. The Order 66, the idea is cool. The mechanics are cool. There's so much on paper. It looks great. But like the number one thing for me is you play it and you get abused. Mm-hmm. And you're like, fine, I'll play the easy tier. And you still get abused. You will play the baby tier and we might nerf you. I can't make this up. This is like so bizarre. I don't understand the reasoning behind that. Kelleran Beck is up to no good. No, you're up to no good. These clones are up to no good. Lord Vader is up to no good. Don't worry about Kelleran Beck. It's crazy. Part of the frustration here is like free-to-play players, whether endgame or somewhere toward that, right? That's who is going to be affected here. We got one doggone team, and it's not like he goes in there and just wrecks the place. So I don't know. I don't know. And any problems that you have with us doing solo things on tier 0. And this is the one team I can run above tier 0. Get your hands off of Kelleran Beck. Just get out of here. No. Read the room a little bit, too.
Right? There you go.
Read the room. We're all like complaining about, oh, so you just have to do tier 0. Cool. And then they come swinging the door open. Like, we're going to nerf you. No, you're not, man. Cut it out. So, yeah, I'm a little perturbed by the announcement. I don't know. I mean, as a guild, we got 80 million.
Yeah,
or something?
We're in the 80 million range, so that weren't too close to the 90, which is going to be crate 7. So
yeah, and in contrast, Maw Chromium, who I know we're not Maw Chromium, 579 million.
Ouch.
And we got 80 million. So like,
right.
There's some balance problems.
Right. This feels like the haves and the have-nots. But again, there should be rewards for paying money for this because there has to be a reason for it. But
totally. Yeah.
But on the other end, I mean, help a brother out with an 80 million. I mean, we need some cookies, man.
We're going to do better next time. I'm sure we're going to do better next time. How much better? It's kind of sad to even think about. Like,
but the nice thing though is like in the last one, if you went through and did 1 million more points, it wouldn't have mattered much difference where we were. I mean,
yeah.
This time, if you go up 300,000, it's going to matter right now. So I guess that's some things too. We're going to be winning small victories, and maybe this one, like I'm going to have to try harder. I mean, I can't just hit auto. I have to try. I have to do something different, and I mean,
but I mean, so we've been harping on it a lot. I will say the speed of the runs
Yep.
is good. Granted, this is tier 0, and I feel like
Yeah.
a child doing this. But, you know, you knock a couple clones out, you hit Vader, knock a couple more clones out, like, and you're kind of like, all right, well, that's a lot smoother than a Battle of Naboo run. So there's that. But I don't know. I got to get at least one more under my belt before I really give an official review, I guess. But yeah, that first one was just, it doesn't feel good. It feels like we're doomed.
Mine, it kind of feels like when you finally beat the run and Vader goes, I don't have time for this. I think that
well
was
put, Vader.
I know, right? Well put. I mean, again, that's how they ended the raid, that you win, and he says, I ain't got time for this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what the... You got
Nor
no
do
time
I,
for some
my
Pop-Tarts too, right? But, man.
All right. Well, from one depressing topic to another, let's talk Grand Arena. We have had a lot between last week and this week. We've had some time to really explore that Dark Side Raid Datacron and how we feel about that. How'd your week go?
Well, the nice part is all three did not have that Datacron.
Oh my God.
I think that start off, that's going to be the difference probably between this round and next round. Because guess what? This round of the this round of the second round of something about rounds, something like that. They do have it on there. So I don't think that one's going to go very well. So, but I did go.
It won't. Right.
So round one was versus, I can't even say the name. Can you even give it a try there?
Est Vraiment Fino?
There you go.
What the? I don't know what that is. Almost sounds Latin.
A little bit. Now, the nice thing is first off, I had a chance to have Leia on there. And so going against Leia to me used to be kind of that tricky one. And so having SLKR with his dirty girlfriend go against his mom, I mean...
Dirty girlfriend.
Right?
Oh,
it's
French, by the way, for is really phenomenal.
Oh.
But it's like short, phenom, shortened. Yeah.
Love
okay.
it.
So now we know.
So Slicker and his girlfriend beat Miss Leia there, which is perfect. And the nice part is Rey's been kind of a challenge these in 3v3 too. It seems like is just tough.
Yeah.
Now my Seer and Starkiller took care of her real nice and easy. Now I will say my Darth Zalbar, love that group. Got a chance to go against some Grievous just to have a win, which was really nice. And then I got into ships. And there was nothing in ships. It was awesome. It like basically no real big ships there. So it was really nice. Now I did have a couple of issues. Gas versus Afra didn't work out. And then Maul against a team of Old Ben, Hondo, and Nest. Hondo just wouldn't die. And then I'm like, just leave, right? Just leave.
Yeah.
He didn't. So ended up timing out on that. So that was kind of an interesting group. But... I mean, still, I was in a good spot as a whole. Now, they only did one battle, in which I thought was interesting. So they had, they used Slicker and then Geonosian and then Armor, which is kind of fun there. But I was thinking about the fact with Armor, like she reminds me kind of like, you know, in like the gangster movies where there's always like the biggest and baddest, like, you know, person, the gangster. There's always a really attractive lady that's right next door, like right with him. Mm-hmm. Think about it, like SLKR, also too is like C, right? She is always next to a big bad somebody to make them better, right? She's like arm candy.
Like
so
the,
now,
like the Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah, right. I mean, ooh yeah. Or is that that could have been, you know, the Kool-Aid Man too, right? But anyways.
She was a big supporter of him as well.
Yeah, definitely. Sure. So that was kind of interesting. They only did one, so I ended up winning 2,027 to 63.
Nice.
And so that was pretty nice. I got into the second round, and I'll give you a cheat right away. Ray, I could not beat. So Seer did not do it this time with Starkiller and Malicos. We did lose. And the funny part is I actually stalled out on their Seer, Starkiller, and Malicos on defense. So that was wonderful. So I stalled out on Ray and them. So I'm thinking there's no way I'm going to win this, which is kind of fun because guess what? Arm candy again with Sith Eternal. So I'm telling you, like, next time you have her on your team, that's what you're just going to think about.
Yeah.
She should be neutral. She shouldn't be light side or dark side. She's a neutral character now.
Honestly, she's like the most stoic character in Star Wars. Like,
right?
That she's just like, this is the way. There's no right or wrong. It's just the way.
There you go. And it must be a strong person, right? That's all it is. Sidious versus Starkiller is lovely. I love that Datacron. I'm going to cry when that goes away. Internally, not externally. Gas against Tuscans is always a nice, easy win. But with stalling out, I was at 1165. Luckily, they just didn't battle at all. So end up winning 1165 to 0. Now, last round, I'm in the finals. I've been in the finals in a little while, so this was not going to go. Like, I'm thinking automatically, it didn't matter what happens with this. Like, I'm going to get some crystals, right? Like, so I get into there, and they're at 1106. And I'm thinking, okay, I might be able to do this. And problem was, when I started looking at I could do this, was basically right at the end, almost 5 o'clock. And so... yeah, so I totally forgot about it. I'm thinking, great, here we go. They stalled out. And so I had enough time to do 2 matches. So I just picked on the little guys, Gas against Tuscans, right? And then Gungans, unfortunately, with Bane. 2 creatures, 2 characters in these things you just got to beat up. But yeah. I will say I did get a hold, though. I got a couple holds here. So Jabba held out against their C, which is kind of a weird, I don't ever use C, and Bane wasn't part of it either. So, but
yeah, that is weird.
Now my Tuscans did get a hold against CLS, and so it made me kind of think, like, what if in the New Hope, like, they don't just rob him, they just kill him, and then there you go, Star Wars is done. I mean,
old Ben just creeping up a little too late. Ah, crap.
I mean, think about what they did to C-3PO, right? They took him out, right? And so...
yeah, absolutely.
But, I mean, they just knocked him on the head and just let him be there. I mean, and just kind of steal a little bit of his stuff. But, Well, man. So Dustin's did get a hold. Now, Balin also got a hold, and it was against Padme, Kenobi, and Anakin. For me, that would be... if I had a chance to upgrade a team to make it to, like, the best team in the game... that would be my 3. I mean, it just feels like those are my people, Yeah. Especially Anakin. Jedi Knight Anakin, to me, I wish was just a really legit character. I would take a Galactic Legend Anakin,
Like, it does kind of stink that, like, canon-wise, that he is best suited on a Qui-Gon team. Like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. It's just a little silly.
And I know it's like I said last week. I mean, I have stopped thinking about this game as in canon at all, and it's about those dollar bills all, So I mean, so speaking of wonderful and just about everything those dollar bills, I got at 121 to 1106.
You tried. You showed up. You showed up.
But 500 crystals just for getting second place. I'll take that.
Sure.
I'll take that. So, how about for you? How about your I almost said Galactic Legend. That wasn't even close.
My Grand Arena.
Grand Arena. There you go.
Yeah, it was not so grand.
Just a little bit of arena.
Look, things have been rough for the other Sean. So round one, I streamed. It was against Ghastly Gaming, and it was where I learned how stupid the Datacron was. Right, that Ray versus Ray, is just plain not fun. Dark side Ray, right? So that really stunk. I did get a lot of defensive holds, really. Great Mothers held against a Old Man Boba Kron. Queen Amidala held versus Treya. And Tusken Raiders held versus Talzin. I couldn't have told you who would have won that match at all. And then Malevolence held versus Radis and Executrix. So
Wow.
Cool. But the fact that Slicker Kron was up front just stunk. So next time around, I put it up front. And I'm like, well, fool me once, right? So round two up against Haas Zorn. I only let's see. I only did a couple attacks. I don't even remember what ones they were. Because he put up 2063.
Ouch.
Cleared my Supreme Leader Kylo with a Darth Bane. And at 2063, like, you lose a match and you're like, well, I'm done.
Yep.
And so that's what happened there. Round three was versus Clark Wren. And this one just stung. Attack went okay, but I clearly wasn't going to take out Kylo.
Yeah.
And he clearly wasn't going to take out my Kylo. So we just worked around that. And who had the higher score? Well, he did. 1199 to 1064. So loss, relegation. And actually relegation happened somewhere in the middle there, I think. But I got a couple holds. Like Qui-Gon got a hold against Gas, and Slicker held against Bane, Sith Eternal, and Jedi Master Luke. So, okay, cool. So week 3, I'm going in just completely deflated on a 5-round losing streak. And I streamed this one today against Darth Suki. I only dropped one battle. First of all, Darth Suki does not have the Darkseid Ray Datacron.
Nice.
So I just was so happy to see that. The only battle I lost was Radis versus Phoenix, which that has a 90+% win rate, even with the Datacron, the Phoenix Datacron. And I just, it was going okay. And then everyone just turned and said, you know what? What if we killed Radis instead of Jin?
Right.
When the AI just is like self-aware, it just takes you out. You're like, what? Why me? So that really stunk. But besides that, I mean, I put my Slicker on defense, and so that's the end of that.
Yeah.
Also, Lord Vader had a hold, so that was kind of cool with my freshly upgraded Apo and CX2, and Omicron CX2. So like, little 3-man squads,
Right.
doing all right. But yeah, so I just spilled the beans a little bit about mine, but I guess we still got to tell them who you're grinding.
Yeah. I mean, we have to talk about that. Now, it's funny
Contractually, we have to.
Right? You have to. What's funny is that I keep on just adding to this, and it does feel like I have a lot that I'm working on, but there's not a ton of progress. But
yeah.
Now, Bad Batch, Crosshair went from 72 out of 85 up to 20 out of 100. So that's really just
Nice.
slow, right? But I wanted to be there. Come on.
He's going to be so good in tier 0. I am telling you.
I know,
You're going to be
right?
so shocked.
2 out of 3 of the attempts was 0 this time. So it just today, it feels so good. So,
Oh, yeah.
but Dirty Clones wise, Apple went from 49 out of 65 up to 20 out of 85.
Solid.
CX2, I kind of forgot. I won't lie. So I missed out on a couple days. So he went from 15 out of 30 up to 5 out of 65. Now, Jocasta for my Mace team here, she went from Relic 2 to Relic 5. I'm just going to keep her at Relic 5. Now, Deepa went from 22 out of 30 up to 20 out of 30. I don't remember why, but she did. So,
probably the era battle
is a
thing. Yeah.
I did put Ayla in the favorites. I'm going to get her up to least to Relic 5, just so that way when Mace happens, it's going to be a little bit better. But
yeah,
problem is I put Alejandro into that group, so there's only 4 other requirements right now. So we got Captain. My Hondo is only at Relic 5. I could get him up to Relic 6 right now, but I'm going to hold off for all of the everything so I can get Crosshair up to Relic 5 right off the bat. But Ezra's only Relic 5, and Vet Chewy's Relic 5, so I got a little bit before I'll work on them in between. Now, one good thing this week, really good thing, I had 3 Omicrons in Cantinas. In one time, I got 2, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, I felt like, RN Jesus was on my side that time, but...
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I legitimately went up 3 relic levels and did some shards this week. So I am jonesing for something better than what I grinded. So who you grinding?
I actually had some fun this week. For Bad Batch, they're all Relic 5 except Crosshair, but he went from 61 up to 83 out of 100. So
yeah,
pretty darn close. I did a little crystal spending to speed up a couple other things here, like Apo going from 72 out of 100 up to Relic 4.
Oh, wow.
CX2 going from 73 out of 100 up to Relic 3. And then Sneaky Boy and Scorch just chilling. Depa, went from 21 up to 38 out of 85. So, yeah, pretty neat. A miscellaneous one that I was not happy about doing. Clone Sergeant, phase 1, went from Relic 5 up to Relic 7 because no one would deploy the Relic 7 Clone Sergeant in territory battles. And I said, well, you know what? I'll just do it. So I got him up to Relic 7 and put him in operations. We needed 2, though. So I put him in operations, and no one filled that last one.
Ouch.
So it was a total waste.
Well, I mean, you did one step closer.
Now I have him, so I can put him in. I will gladly put him in operations. I don't need him. My Hondo stuff. I didn't really move the needle on anything other than Ezra. I took him from Relic 5 up to Relic 6 just because it was a quick win. Get him out of my favorites, And then Zeta's, I did one for Depa. So she's got both of hers now. I need to do both of Ethano's and still, what's his name? Oh my God, Ben Mendelsohn. Director Krennic.
There you go.
I want to do Director Krennic because he's the only stupid old Zeta I don't have. So, there are 3 Zetas in my roster that I need to get still. For Omicrons, I took my time. I built up to 20, and I'm like, hey, I've got 20. Cool. And then I kept building and building. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but suddenly I'm saving Omicrons. And then I got about 30. And I said, all right, let's just spend one. What's it going to hurt, And I looked, and funny enough, the one I ended up spending on was CX2, who only costs 10 because it's a 3v3 Omicron. Yeah. But I'm glad I did because that got me a defensive hold today. So
nice.
No regrets. But yeah, that's what I'm grinding. I don't think like all my territory battle stuff. I just can't. I can't worry about any of that stuff right now.
Yeah.
I got to work on this raid stuff. And that fortunately coincides with the other projects with Hondo and with Mace, you know. So have they said if GL Hondo is going to be in the raid? I have to assume he will.
I have to assume he is too.
Yeah. That would just be...
Because he'd be the only Galactic Legend
super
that would
awkward. Be. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we got for you this week. It may not be the best advice, but at least we didn't recommend you take your Clone Sergeant Phase 1 to Relic 7 for nothing. If you want to continue the conversation, join our Discord server. It's linked in the show description. You can become a real live Jawa by supporting us on Patreon and share your thoughts by leaving us a podcast review. Big thanks also go out to Pabu Appa and swgoh.gg and swgohevents.com for providing all the hard data we misinterpret weekly. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Force and RNG be with you.